Okay, you gotta answer number 1 again.
Okay, let's try number 1 again.
Is it going?
I don't have to look at that, right?
Yeah, look at the camera.
Oh my god, it's I'm talking to like
I know.
myself. Why would I talk to somebody like in the face?
You think I should hold it then?
No, it's okay. I'll try.
Why don't you just like stand behind the camera?
No, don't make him too uncomfortable.
No, it's fine. I just feel like it's gonna be too much of a hassle.
Okay.
That's why. I could if that will.
It's
help.
okay. I'll just try talking to the camera.
Look into yourself. Find yourself. Okay, go.
Okay. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Okay. At one point in your life.
Is it recording right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
At one point in your life, or at what age would you have considered yourself fully developed? Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
I think I can go back to when I was going to college, when I had to live on my own, that I had to work full time, go to school full time, and I was supporting myself. Back then I thought that I was an adult, that I can just do whatever I need to do to fully support myself.
Next.
Okay. If there's a category in which you don't feel fully developed in, what and why is that?
You mean physically, mentally, and spiritually, or?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think if I think back, back then I thought I was fully developed as an adult, physically, mentally, but then as you live your life, you look back and realize that you're not really all that fully developed as an adult. There are things that you do that you think you're right and you act like an adult, but a lot of times you don't. You make a lot of mistakes, and so we're still learning, and I'm still learning from my past experience and what I did in the past. So I don't think I can never say that I'm fully developed, but I'm developed enough to be an adult, but I'm still growing up, and I'm still trying to, I guess, fully develop, but I don't know if I can ever say that I am ready or I'm fully developed now.
You should talk about how, like you wrote about maybe like spiritually it's like hard to.
That's, yeah.
Is that number
That's
2?
what, that's what she answered on, yeah.
Yeah, you should talk about that too. Spiritually,
On
how
here
it's
it says
like hard.
spiritually only because spiritually is too complicated and in depth, and that I always feel I need to know more about.
Yeah,
Talk about
like for example, like a spiritual part of my life, you know how it's so unknown and it's just we can never say I'm spiritually mature or I know everything in the spiritual part of it. It's hard to say that you know everything, not only spiritually but like mentally too. There's so many things that are unknown and we're still learning. So I feel that I'm still learning. Physically I'm getting old. So I guess, I don't know, maybe physically I'm mature, but as my physical part of it is getting old, my mental part of it I think is more mature. But you can say more mature, but not like fully developed means like there's nothing more to learn or nothing more to be mature about. I don't think that's right. We're still learning.
Okay. What do you consider being an adult? Define in your own words, and who or what decides that?
I guess an adult means, in my definition, like I said, back when I was in college, when I was able to support myself, work and go to school on my own without depending on anyone, then I consider myself being an adult. Because I'm very independent, that I don't need to depend on anyone for my living, physically, mentally, anything like that. But since I know myself the best, I can say I'm an adult or not. But then not only that, other people I think also have to recognize that from my action and my behavior that you're adult now, or you're ready to be an adult. As a third person, they can say that, but in reality, I am the only one who can really say now I'm an adult, that I can take care of myself or not.
Okay. So what does it mean to be an adult in our society today?
As a society, I think it's just a legal age. You have to set a guideline. So if you're 21, you will be considered as an adult, whether you're ready or not. But like I said, you're the only one who can tell if you're ready to be an adult or not.
Okay. What failures in life were you able to learn from the most and bounce back from?
I think a divorce. I got separated with my husband about 15 years ago or so when my kids were still in elementary school. Until then, I was living my life very confidently, meaning I was able to control my life the way I wanted to be. I thought that was being an adult, that I can control my life. Not only that, I was able to control other people's life to fit my definition of adult life, I guess. But then when I had a divorce with my husband, I realized that not everything goes the way I want it to be. There are certain things that are out of my control and things happen. So I learned from that being an adult doesn't mean controlling my life or other people's life, but I guess loving them. If you're able to love others, and for that love, if you're able to sacrifice for them, I guess you act more like an adult. So I got more matured from that. So I'm living, I think now that I look back, I think I'm living my life a lot more mature than before. So like I said, I'm still learning to be mature or fully, I guess, develop my life as an adult.
Time's on there. 8 minutes. Okay. Throughout your life, what do you value most?
My value has been changed a lot. Now I value most my husband, my kids, my immediate family members, and me, of course. I think I need to be happy to make my surrounding people to be happy. So I try to keep myself motivated to be happy.
Say that again.
So I think if I'm happy, that I can make my kids happy and my husband happy too. So yeah.
Okay. What are your views about how to have a successful relationship at home, at work, or elsewhere?
I think love. If you're having a good relationship with your families and kids, I think you have to love them. And no matter what, if you know that you love them, then they know that you love them. So your relationship cannot go wrong. Communication has to be based on also love. A communication without love is just a talk, and that doesn't have a lot of affect on other people's behaving, or communication itself doesn't really work unless you know that they know you love them. So love has to be basis of all relationship in order for it to work. Even with your employees too. They know if you just tell them what to do or if you tell them with love. So I think love is basic for all relationships to work best.
How do you use love differently in the workplace or like with your kids or like your husband? Like, is it the same like kind of love, or do you like, is a love that you give and like how do you show it differently in different settings?
Well, I think there's different kinds of love, of course, between your husband, between your kids, or between employees at your work. But I think the bases are the same. It's a care and sacrifice. I think love has to come with care and sacrifice. Like for your kids, is probably unconditional love, but then there is conditional love. Even with your kids, you expect certain things because you love them. You want your kids to be happy. That's another expectation. So that's not unconditional love. You love them, so they will be happy. With your husband, same thing. You know, you met him with different environments and just total strangers, but because you love them, you can like live with them and you can do things with them. You know, all that. With your employees, they work for you, but if you just let them work without caring for them, they're not gonna work productively. If you care for them and if you love them, you know, then if you show your sincere love for your employees, they will work better, and it's better for your business, and so it's a win-win situation. You don't love somebody, you know, it's not a fake love. You think you love your kids, but then you fake love your employees. No, I don't think that's true. There's a different levels of love, but it has to be sincere and it has to be true for it to work. So I love my kids and I love my husband, but I also love my employees that work for me because I truly respect them too. So.
Okay, last question. Do you feel that you are fully developed as an adult?
Like I said before, fully means kind of, you know, I mean, I can say I'm fully grown up adult by saying I'm physically, you know, I'm 52 years old, so yes, I'm physically or fully grown up, and maybe mentally I've gone through a lot of things, and I think I'm old enough to say, or experienced enough to say I'm fully developed. But then if I look back a few years ago, that, you know, me, then I know I was so mature that I could have done better things at better situation. So I think I'm continuously learning from my past for what I did, even though at the time that I thought that I was right and I was acting like a fully developed, mature adult. But if you look back, you are not. So I'm still learning. So I'm sure 5 years from today, I will look back today and say, oh, she was such an immature, you know, mom or wife. So I can say until we die, all of us need to learn from our past and from our experience and try to be closer to fully developed. So.
Bravo!
Unfortunately, that's perfect.
Okay.
Smile.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe she should introduce herself. No? Does she do that?
I do that.
You introduce your person?
Yeah, I introduce it. That's why the beginning introduction page is gonna be